As promised in my previous video, if you've watched my previous video, this is my brief update on depth year. I began depth year last year, November 2018. And so this is the end of my depth year. But it's not. I'm not prepared to end depth year. I'm prepared, as a matter of fact. It makes the experience I've had this past year with depth year, going deeper into my interests, committing fully to situations in my life, committing to depth year, going in deeper, committing to a less superficial life, or less superficial habits. I think I still struggle a bit with some consumerism, but that's just the world we live in. What I mean is that, it's depth year has changed a lot about how the purchases I make, how I make my purchasing decisions, where I purchase items, and what I purchase. There's a whole list of things that I just don't purchase anymore. And I discussed that in my previous depth year video, which I'm going to link below. But just to give a quick recap, this past year I have really drastically reduced my consumption, or rather my purchasing of cosmetics, makeup, fragrance, drastically reduced. Mind you, I've also, because I've gone deeper into my interest of tarot and oracle, probably what I didn't spend in makeup and fragrance, I probably spent in tarot and oracle decks. Okay, maybe not, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't sit here and tell you that I did not replace one compulsion with another, because I probably, I kind of did. I didn't replace one compulsion with another, but I did not restrict myself from buying tarot decks and oracle decks. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that, I had done most of those purchases in 2018, and I did do some of them in 2019. Whatever. You know what I mean? For me, I know I brought this up before and I'll bring it up again. For me, tarot decks and oracle decks and books, to me, they're all the same thing. Books, movies like on DVD, music, they're entertainment. And that's, I don't differentiate between tarot and oracle decks and say books. So it's all the same thing. So I purchased less books this year, but I purchased more oracle and tarot decks. So it kind of came to the same thing. So I don't even know why I brought it up. But because we're talking about depth year. My God, depth year. In a previous video, I discussed how I'm a little concerned about the Ten of Swords coming up for me in November. And, so that's where that comes from. Sorry, Freudian. I learned a lot about myself, depth year. Depth year also, it not only affected purchases, it affected, it did affect purchases. I think that depth year I really went deep into, if I need something, I check the secondary market first. First I check this, it's that whole triage, right? Do I already own something that does the job? If I don't own something that does the job, does someone in my family own something that does the job of this item I want to obtain? Can I borrow it from them? And does that suffice? If not, then check the secondary market, so thrift stores and that kind of stuff. And then if I can't find it there and I ultimately really do need it, or it's something that you can't buy secondhand, then shop around, get the best deal, kind of thing. So it's more of like, it's more of the same of my process that I was doing before, except there are some things that I just did not buy brand new this year, and I'm pretty sure clothing is one of them. January was the last time I purchased brand new clothing brand new. That wasn't a replacement for something. Socks don't count. So you have to replace your socks. They're a necessity. But anyway, and that's the thing. I was on a I have been on a makeup no buy replace only since last year November, and I've only had to I purchased, I think it was, I ran out of like one lip product that for me is a daily staple. It's my serious work look, right? And I replaced that, and I used a coupon for it. So you know what I mean. I'm feeling pretty good about that. But it's very strange. It's very strange, and I don't miss it. I don't care what's new. Like if you're watching this and you're into makeup and fragrance and all that stuff, it's kind of strange not to care about what Sephora's putting out for Christmas. It's very strange not to care that the 20% off sale. Well, if you're VIB Rouge, top tier, the measly 20% off sale that occurs in November is coming up. I think there's only one item I'm going to get with, and I say measly 20% off because in a big scheme of things, it's really not a big percentage off. That stuff's already marked up a lot. Anyway, back to what I was saying. But, usually I'd be thinking, oh, I'm going to try something new, whatever, or I'm going to stock up on things that I use regularly. And no, I'm just going to buy one item when that sale hits. I don't even think I'm Rouge anymore, but it doesn't matter. 15% off. And that's it. That one item, done. And it's because I've run out. And I'm waiting for the sale in order to buy it. If I miss the sale, who cares? I'm going to put it on my wish list for Christmas and ask for it for Christmas. Done. So it's kind of odd. As far as fragrance goes, the only fragrance I purchased this year, wow. Most of it is thrift store finds. So, for instance, in my October favorites, I'm going to show you 2 fragrances I scored thrift store, and there's probably more. There's probably one more that I scored thrift store this month or recently that I forgot to share. But yeah, the only new fragrance I got this year was one for my birthday, which was one of those purse size, those incredibly exorbitantly priced purse size ones, like $30 for 10 milliliters. But you know what I'm saying? It was Christmas. It was a birthday gift, and I really love it. So, I think the only other, yeah, I purchased some fragrance earlier in the year, but it was because it was something that it's going to be out of production again or soon or whatever, and it's a staple, and it was also a gift. Like I put it on my wish list for a gift. So yeah, it's kind of weird, which is good too, because the spending has to be curbed because we have one daughter in university now, and that's the priority. So yeah, depth here. I plan to stay. I'm not looking forward. Like it wasn't during depth year. I mentioned in a previous video that I wasn't looking forward to it coming to an end. Oh, I can't wait for next year to go wider. I'm not prepared to go wider, and I think I want. As a matter of fact, I think I want this depth year for me to. I started this year with figuring out what my interests are, what's important to me, and go deeper. for me, decluttering and simplifying is an ongoing process. It's not new to depth year. It's not new to me because of depth year. It's how I live my life. And I was looking around yesterday in my bedroom and, through my wardrobe and all this stuff, especially since I went from an office job, like a temporarily. I had an office job temporarily at the start of this year, and I no longer have an office job. So I feel like I could be more me um, in the environment that I'm working now. So I can divest myself of a lot of that grown-up office wardrobe that I had to obtain earlier this year, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, and just continue with my depth year ways. I'm really comfortable in depth year, and I wonder if it has to do with the fact that I'm an introvert, and I wonder if it's a if depth year soothes introverts, and if going wider is what soothes extroverts. So that's an interesting question that I have. And if you have any insight or any ideas about it, please leave a comment down below, because I would love to hear what you think of that. Or if you've thought of it or not, or, like what your opinion is regarding that. So that's my depth year update. I'm starting a new depth year tomorrow, and I think I'm going to set not the same goals, but I'm going to set similar goals that I did last year. I'm very pleased that for the most part I stuck to what my goals are. I think I mentioned in a previous depth year update that I didn't so much make a long list of things I'm not going to purchase or not going to do. No, I made a short list of things that, be more mindful of my spending, but if the following things do come up that I'm looking for, that are on a perennial wish list items, things that just get carried over year to year because it's a wish list item but not necessarily a need, that's going to stay there. But aside from that, I don't need anything, and I really did enjoy this last year, really exploring books and decks I already own. I'm going to continue on this channel to feature decks that I already own because I use them in so many different ways, and there's tons of wonderful people that I'm subscribed to who provide the content of the latest and greatest being unboxed and whatever, and thank you because I do consume all that content and I do enjoy it. So this will be the channel where, I'll probably be, not probably, but, I'll talk about tarot and oracle and divination and personal growth and personal exploration and all that stuff and witchcraft and everything using what I already have. With the occasional introduction of something I haven't shown you yet, or something I've traded for, you know what I mean? Like something I scored at thrift. But it's pretty much my content's going to remain the same going forward into my next step year. Let me know what you think. Did you do it? Are you currently doing a depth year for 2019? How's that going? Do you feel called to go even deeper, or are you done and you're ready to go wider? I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.